This is going to sound horrible.
So don't say it.
But I am going to say it because women are not a monolith.
We're not.
There are some women that really like the controlling guy.
I'm telling you.
There are some women that are attracted to the toxic, ain't shit, I'm in the house controlling, demanding, jealous, I'll fuck your ex up.
Oh, for sure.
I will not deny that for a single second.
Yeah, I know some.
Yes, absolutely.
I've dated some.
Okay, got it.
Absolutely.
Question for Mel and Mark. And this is what I asked last time, how was she able to leave with the trainer if he was so controlling and Stockholm syndrome and all that?
It happened. Some of it is timing. Some of it is when somebody's really in a bad space, drug-wise, relationship-wise, or he's out fucking somebody else for the next 3 weeks, that's the time to exit. Sometimes you stop caring about the fear because after the 6th or the 8th time, you're like, you know what, fuck it. Look at Tina Turner. Ike didn't stop being violent to her when she left. She just said, fuck it, I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? If I have to die to leave this situation, then I'll die to leave this situation. And then some of it is sometimes you need some courage. And sometimes it's when you meet the next guy that you get the courage to leave.
I just said about 5 minutes ago how many times it takes victims of domestic violence to leave their partners and how many times they keep going back. But for a lot of women, sometimes there is the final time. Also, I want to make mention that within the first few weeks of a woman trying to leave a domestic violence incident, that is when she has the highest statistical rate of being unalived by her mate. So obviously the questions that she's being asked to relive trauma, and she's being asked to read text messages that seemingly contradict her claims. And she's still doing it in a very succinct, very matter-of-fact manner.
And first and foremost, doing it while eight and a half months pregnant.
I was about to say that. So the prosecution has now brought up a point to the judge, and they said this last night. They said that the defense is purposefully asking redundant questions over and over and over again to try to see if she won't go into labor, which will then, a mistrial will have to be called.
I call 100% cap on that. If there's one team that does not want her to go into labor, it's the defense team. I think the defense feels that she is pivotal, like vital to whatever it is they need to prove. I think they've said she's the most important person in the case that we're trying to present. Yeah. I don't think they want her to go into labor.
Okay. And I think we saw that in the cross-examination yesterday. Because what she read in the cross-examination, because like you said, they forced her to read the text out loud. Yeah. I think at the very least they want to rattle her, because if you're rattled, you're not going to do as well in the chair. That's the idea.
Right.
But some of the stuff she had to read out loud, particularly the one from August 2009, when Puff asked her when she wanted the next sex encounter to be, and she replied, "I'm always ready to freak off."
Okay.
And then 2 days later, she sent him an explicit message. She wrote back. He liked it, and then she responded, "Me too. I just want it to be uncontrollable." And so the defense is going to try to say that that's evidence that there was no coercion, that there was no control, that she just is a freak like him, and they doing freaky shit, and whatever else is going on, there's no charge there with that. And the prosecution is going to have to prove that despite those texts, there was coercion, or because of those texts, there was coercion. Like she had to write that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's a battle. So I agree. I think the the defense wants Cassie in that chair. That's the easiest. It's going to be hard because we know Dawn Richard is going to hit the stand next, and
Aubrey O'Day.
Aubrey O'Day,
and
Jane
They're
Doe.
going to come for blood.
Yeah, they know, and they kind of know what they're getting there.
Yeah, exactly.
But Cassie's the most vulnerable for this because she's the one who's been there the longest, right? And it's harder to.
And she sets the stage for everything.
Absolutely.
She's the one that was
Triggered everything. She triggered the whole thing.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. And so, there's a term that keeps coming up right now, and it's Stockholm syndrome. And I think that it's applicable in this kind of situation. It's dependent on what you believe. And apparently there is a lot of protesting going on at the courthouse right now. It is a madhouse. Media, protesters on both sides of the aisle. It's complete and total chaos down there. There's people chanting in support of Diddy. There's people who are chanting in support of their pursuit of justice, whatever that looks like. But it's just literally like what you believe. Do you believe that she's a victim and that she figured out a long time ago, based on his enforcers, his enforcement of the imprisoned life that she was forced to lead, that she just said some things to get along because you want to make your captor happy. You don't want to piss them off, kind of thing.
They named a lot of times where she wasn't captive though.
I think that what people need to understand of what captivity actually looks like, because captivity is not just physical. Especially if you've been abused for a really long amount of time, there is an erosion of your sense of free will.
I agree. I mean, you look at kidnapped kids. Sometimes they get sent to the store. They come back to the kidnap. They don't run. They go back home again.
Okay, I want to let the audience know from this point forward, you might hear an opinion that contrasts from you guys'.
Absolutely,
sure.
there should be.
I just want to let people know.
Yeah. So
it's difficult to say that what y'all are saying when she eventually ended up not only escaping, but escaping with one of the handlers and paid with Puff's credit card.
Okay.
It's tough to paint you as someone that was trapped when we're going to throw all these instances where you seemingly were away and you left for good. So if you were able to leave for good at one point, then what happened at all these other points of exit?
I can't speak on what.
And again, neither am I. I'm not inserting my opinion in this. Like Mel said, this is going to come down to, well, so far, because I do think that the feds are going to prove their case. Like, let me start with. Not only do I think the feds are going to prove their case, but I think that the standard is so low for what they have to prove.
Yeah.
They may have already proven it. I want to say that. But I don't think Cassie looked the greatest during Cross. So this comes down to, do you believe that she was being sex trafficked, or do you believe that she was in an abusive, drug-infested, toxic relationship?
I think.
Go ahead. I think it is the sex trafficked part. Part of it being because she was his employee, not just his girl. So that I'm controlling your finance. There's the coercion part.
I'm playing this timeline that they're trying to reconfigure as her being this artist that was chasing a career. She was not.
Okay.